A number of drivers were slapped with penalties in the aftermath of the Madhouse 200 for causing accidents while leaving the pits. Most notably affected were championship contenders Joseph Howard and Casey Campbell. They were each given a 25-point loss, which should have points leader Rip Tyler breathing a little easier as he failed to finish his race at Bowman Gray. Tyler, of course, is the defending series champion, and he is sitting in a very good position to win it again. Moving on to this weekend here at Road America, if you thought that Mother Nature was done interfering with these races, you were wrong. Qualifying was a complete monsoon to the extent that the starting lineups, for the most part, are based on complete luck. So we had several unusual names qualifying towards the front of these fields. And to drive that point home, here's the start of round number 1. AJ Young is on the pole with Zach Gott on his outside. This is AJ Young's second career pole, but the first that he's gotten by setting a time in qualifying. And if you look on the right side of row 6, that is Cletus McGuffey in the Team Burr car that is qualified in 12. Green flag is out, and AJ Young and Cletus McGuffey are off to a terrible start as Zach Gott sweeps into the lead. The field fans out 3 and 4 wide, entering turn 1. AJ Young gives Ryan Griffin a bit of a bump. Griffin goes way off the road, and there's a lot more contact towards the back as the field tries to get around Cletus McGuffey, and I understand we've already had problems. Ashley Tucker getting into the side of the 54 car. Oh, Barton Sandy off the road and into the tire walls. That's Tucker's teammate. Tucker goes around, and that is Zach Webster, car 23, backed up against the wall there. Everybody involved in this mess would keep going except for Barton Sandy. Now, here's Lucas Flint in the 10L for Dan Leckleiter, getting turned into the wall by, I think that's Ryan Griffin. Both Griffin and Luke Pellerin are in this race, but they are in very similar looking cars. It's hard to tell them apart. Will Ashmore, car number 06, has trouble on the first lap. He brings that yellow car to a stop. And more problems for AJ Young as Livy Bell gets into the back of the 15 car, doesn't let off at all, and turns AJ Young right into the wall. AJ Young, again, was off to a terrible start, and it's not going to get much better for him. Allie Riggs stuck behind the 88 of Kelly Posadas as Posadas has a problem. Riggs goes around thanks to a shunt from Ryan Matthews in the 116 car. Kelly Posadas, car number 88, does indeed have a problem. She's going to try to bring that car to the pit lane. Posadas is a native of Wisconsin, so not off to a very good start in front of her home crowd as she got a bit of a shunt from Luke Pellerin. Packer Carroll, car number 70, making, I believe, his first start of the year, is off in the grass. He hits the wall and bounces in front of Kevin Monroe, car 63. Monroe was off to a good start. Not anymore. Carroll had a lot of trouble getting that car off the grass, which is still very wet from the rain in qualifying. Kiki Hitsuno started in 29th place towards the back of the grid. She was up to 7th at the end of the first lap. That just goes to show you the carnage that we had in this first lap and the sheer speed of that 4 car. Kyle Gaffigan, car number 07, is off the road in Station 5. He was about 12th place at the end of the first lap. Ryan Matthews running 6th in the 116 car, off the road as well. Seiji Daiho, car 91, joins him as Matthews clips that tire wall. I think he was paying attention to the 91, trying not to run into him, and just didn't see that tire wall coming. And I think I see one of the Doppelgang cars off the road. I believe that is Brian George in car number 01 as the 116 car is really hurting. Jim Hayes off the road in the final corner. He's trying to get back on the road. Grass not helping him much as he hits the wall and does quite a bit of damage to the left side of that 77 car. Jim Hayes was the hot contender for Rookie of the Year earlier in the season, and then he started to fall apart. As we see, Zach Gott continues to lead this race. Of course, Eric Jackson won in the 7 car at New York a couple weeks ago. He hasn't been back in the car since then, as Leslie Riggs slides off the road in Station 5 from 2nd place. She puts that car into the tire walls as Kiki Itsuno, car 4, joins her. I know those two are good friends off the track, but that doesn't mean that they have to follow each other everywhere on the track. As George Bryan in the 81 car, more problems for that 81 car. In addition to going off the road, he brings that car to a stop. We've got a few cars pitting on lap number 3, Daiho, Hayes, and Rachel Rainsford. we're going to see quite a few pit stops in this 20-lap race, but that's some strange strategy as Zach Gott goes off the road in the final corner and hits the wall, and here comes Joseph Howard, car 17. He's going to sweep right on by for the lead like he wasn't even there. A lot of people have had trouble with that final corner, and the lack of grip in the runoff is not helping one bit as Howard pulls away from Zach Gott. Trey Ashby, car 12, has a problem. Cyrus Laterza runs into the back of him. Libby Bell and Herbie Finkelberg pile in as well. Ashby sitting in a very bad spot, as I think that was Ryan Griffin that piled into the back of the 66. Joseph Howard and Zach Gott bring their cars into the pit lane on lap number 7. Daiho, who pitted on lap 3, of course, is going to come back around to second place as Joseph Howard continues to lead the race. Zach Gott back to third, but Daiho is going to have to pit in just a few laps. Here he is at the end of lap number 9. As we see that Mo Lester in car 619 has had a problem. He's stuck in the pit lane, as well as Joel Lennick. Joseph Howard in at the end of lap 12. Ramsey Cockiner, car 31, I believe is a lap down. Seiji Daiho set his personal best lap of the race, a 2:01 last time around, and here he is sweeping around Zach Gott for second once again. This 91 car has been getting faster and faster as the race goes on. Here he comes around to begin lap number 14, and he just set the fastest lap of the race, 2 minutes, .1, as Joseph Howard continues to lead this race. Daiho, for the Kurt Walker team, has emerged as the fastest car on the track, and these two are both going to have to make one more pit stop, so these two could be duking it out for the win, despite Daiho's strategy of pitting on lap 3. Oh, and the engine goes on car 91, never mind that. That's just typical Kurt Walker Motorsports luck, or the 91 team just got cocky with their setup. I guess that explains why they were so fast. Joseph Howard, with a much safer lead now, pits on lap number 17, his final stop of the day. Libby Bell has a problem at pit in, and she brings that car to a stop. Bell has had problems all day, especially getting into the back of Trey Ashby. Jim Hayes, car number 77, has cycled through to second place. Hayes pitted along with Daiho on lap 3. Zach Gott in car 7, still hanging on to a top 5 position, running in third at the moment. As Jim Hayes pits coming to lap 19, he pitted on the same lap as Daiho and Rainsford, so it looks like if Daiho's engine had held out, that strategy wouldn't have worked after all, as Kyle Gaffigan, despite going off the road in turn 5, has recovered and is running in 4th place with the old Atsuer Technologies logos all over that car. It's pretty obvious that team is that company is no longer paying Team Thunder, as Joseph Howard, running on the white flag lap, goes off the road and he hits the wall. Not sure what's going on with that 17 car as Joseph Howard soldiers on. He's still got a very comfortable lead over the rest of the field. Coming around the final corner, no additional problems for Joseph Howard as he's trying to recover from that penalty he received at Bowman Gray. Up the hill for the final time as Howard comes to the line to take his 3rd ARLA Elite Series victory of the year. A dominating victory for Joseph Howard, scores him 111 points. Zach Gott comes home in 2nd place. He scored an additional bonus point for leading a few laps. Kyle Gaffigan 3rd, Jason Bates 4th. Jim Hayes only fell back to 5th after pitting because of how spread out the field had gotten. And Zach Gott's teammate Rachel Rainsford grabs the high climber bonus, finishing 6th after starting in 30th. And coming around to take the start of round number 2, Nick Azure is on the pole, and that is Stacy St. Martin on the outside of the front row. These are two names that we don't see up front very often. The green flag is out. Nick Azure off to a much better start than AJ Young in the previous round. Derek Dunning, car 68, has qualified in 9th place. Somebody's blowing up at the back already. I think that's Richard Scott in the 27. Dunning continues to fall back and holds up everybody behind him. Nick Azure, in the meantime, jumps out to the lead about 6 car lengths over Lev Azarov, and we've got a crash in the back. A very big crash Chris Johans and I think Andrea Kinasa. Yeah, those two get together and go hard into the wall. And we've got even more problems up ahead. One car flipping wildly down the track. I think Lenore Scurry, car 102 for Motor Assault Racing. She gets hooked by Edwin Schwarzlowski into the wall. And Chris Winter, car 56, launches her into the air. Scurry and Winter end over end. Alex Carson and Joel Rodriguez get a large chunk of that as well. Lenore Scurry would need some assistance getting out of that 102 car, but she should be fine. This is Dale Underwood, car 65 for the Sourceful Honest American Motorsports something team. Underwood is making his first start of the year, and he will be done on lap number 1, although he's going to end up behind Richard Scott because he started behind him. In the meantime, Lev Azarov is coming after the 46 of Nick Azure for the lead. Azarov clearly much faster than the 46, but he's got to check up heading into that corner. Azure's lead is going to be safe a little while longer, and you can bet that he's going to savor this rare opportunity. Derek Dudding off the road in the carousel, and is he going to save it? I don't think so, as Dudding goes into the tire walls and out of the race. Dudding, a stunning 9th place qualifying effort by him and Team Burr, but his day ends on lap number 1 as Stacy St. Martin, who started on the outside of the front row, has fallen back to 22nd by the end of the first lap. Here is points leader Rip Tyler carving his way through the field. He started, the monsoon conditions that we had in qualifying didn't favor him much, but he survived the carnage of the first lap and is knocking on the door for a top 10 spot. He's got to get by Nami Miura, car 39. To get that, oh, Michael Madrigal, the pie car, off the road. Well, that's one way to get into the top 10, as Madrigal saves the car, but he loses several positions. Lev Azarov coming after Nick Azure once again, almost into the side of the 46 car. That's the last thing Azure needs to see, another incident, as he lets Azarov go, knowing that the 82 is much faster than him. So, Azure is backing off to avoid any further problems. Azure has been plagued by bad luck this year, but believe it or not, he isn't the driver with the most DNFs. Lucy Barnton pits with a few other cars coming to the beginning of lap number 4. So again, some interesting pit strategy being played in the early part of this race. Makoto Yamada, car 22, up to 2nd place right now. Yamada showing signs of another stellar run on a road course, as he and Lev Azarov pit on lap number 7. I believe that the 22 was starting to catch the 82 as Rip Tyler pits at the end of lap 8. He stayed out an extra lap to take over the lead, as Taylor Brillin's got a problem heading up into the pit lane now. Taylor Brillin's collapse continues after being the favorite to win the championship early on in the season, although she does have that pair of 9th place finishes in recent weeks, as Madrigal is off the road again, into the wall, right in front of Casey Campbell, car 422. Campbell has not had a good past couple of weeks. She went on a rampage at Bowman Gray. That got her a hefty penalty. As we now look at Carter Fitzgerald in her family-owned 61 car, up to 12th place in her first start. Fitzgerald told us that she was just going to take it easy and log laps, but taking it easy is the key to success today, it seems. And now she is up to 12th place, trying to chase down defending series champion Rip Tyler, though I do think that's going to be a tall order. As we see Casey Campbell continuing to limp around in that 422 car. Stacy St. Martin off the road. Her day has not gotten much better, and she ends up in the tires. She's kept her foot in the gas, trying to get out of the gravel trap, but of course there's no grip up there, and she ends up in the wall again. That pretty much sums up Stacy St. Martin's season. As we now look at Lev Azarov, he runs the final corner wide, and he's off the road. Is he going to get back on? It looks like he might do it. Oh, no, he doesn't. As he hits the wall and tries to get that 82 car back going. And here comes Makoto Yamada. He's going to be all over him, but the field pits before Yamada can take advantage. However, Lev Azarov is going to spend a few extra seconds in the pits having the left side of that car repaired. We're going to have to see how that plays out in the pit cycle as Carter Fitzgerald off the road now and into the tire wall. She had just gotten into 10th place. So much for taking it easy and logging laps, as Taylor Brillin has now blown up. More problems for Brillin. She was running in about 20th place. Brillin's gonna bring that car back around to the pit lane. She apparently sat in her car for quite some time before getting out. Bigsby Foot is now the leader of the race, taking advantage of Lev Azarov having to get that car repaired. Foot is the only Power Steering Incorporated driver with just one win, which came at Montmagny earlier this year. He's trying to change that with 7 laps to go here, as Makoto Yamada still running in 2nd place. He was beaten out of the pits by the 14, but still got around the 82 like he was anticipating. That 22 team has had several flashes of brilliance through this season, and Yamada on his way to yet another fantastic run. Nami Miura, car 39, running around in 3rd place right now, hoping that she doesn't suffer the same fate as Seiji Daiho, as he just saw Lucas Sweeney and Earl McDermott in the pits with problems. Jessica Graham, car 59, is up to 7th place right now. Graham has had several good runs such as these throughout the year, which have solidified a position in the top 20 for her. And one spot in front of her is Lev Azarov, who is trying to chase down Rit Tyler at the moment for 5th. Azarov, those repairs have really cost him, as Yamada's off the road now and into the wall from 2nd place. He almost spins that car out, but he keeps it going. We're going to have to see if the cars behind him can take advantage, as Anthony Griffith and Laura Cyrus battle for, I believe this is for 9th. Griffith making his 2nd start of the year, and now he's trying to make the most of it as he chases Laura Cyrus up the hill and to the start-finish line, getting a nice draft off of the 42 car. There he goes to the right, and it looks like he's going to make the move stick heading into turn 1. Cyrus looks like she's got a bit of damage on the left side of that car as she pinches Griffith going into turn 1. Griffith is not the type of person that you'd want to be pinching in a corner like that. Radomir Stanichev, car 28, has come to life, and he has just gotten around Nami Miura for 2nd place. These guys have caught up to and passed Makoto Yamada after he hit the wall. Stanichev, teammate to Lev Azarov, who has just gotten around Rit Tyler, as Miura comes back after the 28 for 2nd. She does have to check up to avoid running into him, and here comes Lev Azarov with a burst of speed around the left side of Miura. Azarov in that 82 car has come to life once again, as he now challenges his teammate for 2nd. These two, Azarov and Stanichev, are sharing that Rus Autosport 82 in a bid for the championship, although Azarov has gotten many more runs in that car than Stanichev has, as Azarov, Miura, Rit Tyler, and Bigsby Foot hit the pit lane. Radomir Stanichev stays out for an extra lap to take over the lead, and he will pit at the end of lap 17. Bigsby Foot leads the race once again, and he's got a very comfortable lead over everybody else. Foot, once again, trying for his 2nd win of the year, as Nami Miura goes off the road after cycling out in 2nd place, but she's about to lose that to Radomir Stanichev and Makoto Yamada. Yamada back in this fight after a quick pit stop by the 22 team. Yamada, of course, fell by the wayside after getting that damage, but once again, he is back in this fight. A fantastic battle for 2nd place as Miura gets back around the 22 car. Laura Ocean, car 798, is going to go off the road in the final corner. Ocean running around in 14th place, and now she is about to lose that as she plants her car in the tire wall. Michael Madrigal. Madrigal has had so many problems today, and here's another one of them as he comes to a stop on the left side, or the right side of the front stretch, heading towards turn 1. Nami Miura coming around to take 2nd place from Stanichev as Stanichev goes off the road. Rit Tyler around the 28 as well. Tyler takes over 3rd place, and now Miura is going to have to try to hold off the 16 car, Rit Tyler, who has DNF'd these past 2 weeks, is desperately trying to hang on to his points lead as Bixby Foot comes up the hill and across the line to take his 2nd win of the year. This will give PSI their 7th win in 2013. Miura held off Rip Tyler for 2nd place. Stanichev 4th. Graham made her way up into the top 5. Makoti Yamada fell by the wayside once again, although he did snag the high climber bonus. And Lev Azarov, I believe, ran out of fuel and had a pit with just a couple laps to go. And Casey Campbell, despite getting into that wreck, comes home in 10th place with 74 points. And now, here are the point standings heading into the Rockford 200. 8 cars are in championship contention. Rip Tyler leads by just 5 points over Joseph Howard. Rachel Rainsford 35 points back, and it's a hell of a battle for 4th, as only 8 points separate Taylor Brillin and Libby Bell. 1st through 8th place are locked into the Rockford 200. Everybody else has to race their way in. Harry Esanola in 9th place, the first driver eliminated from championship contention. However, these calculations do not take into account the 2 B-mains that will be held before the 200, and the B-mains, of course, only the winner will transfer to the 200. So, if Enola gets into a B-main and wins, he will be the points leader. And Enola has won a few races under strange circumstances this season, so that would certainly not be unlike him. Leslie Riggs in 10th place could also take over the points lead if she wins a B-main, but she would have to lead the most laps in order to do so, which will get her 111 points. We certainly have some very interesting scenarios heading into Rockford. And now let's take a look at 11th through 20th. Andrea Kinasa has a pretty healthy lead in the Rookie of the Year standings over Jim Hayes. But again, all of these drivers have to race their way in. So if Jim Hayes qualifies for the 200 and Kinasa doesn't, he will be in a great position to take advantage and take the Rookie of the Year title back. We've got a couple of interesting battles here in this top 20. For 14th place, only 2 points separate Azarov and Stanichev and Herbie Finkelberg, and Allie Riggs is trying to hold off the Racers with Disabilities 707 and Ramsey Cockiner for 18th. This championship battle is far from over. 8 cars are locked into the final race, with a couple other people that could play huge spoilers if the cards fall their way. We will see you all at the Rockford 200, the biggest race on the ARLA calendar.